go through something like with my family, like the
Right.
only people that can make me mad is if I love you.
Oh God, yes.
If I love you, you can make me mad. If I
Yes.
don't give a fuck about you, I don't give a fuck
You
what
can't
you
affect
say,
me at all.
what you do, how you
Right.
feel. Like fuck you, eat dick,
Right.
die. But
The people that you love can crush you for real.
right, the
Like,
people that I love, like if I fuck with you and I feel like it's genuine, it's gonna be like, God damn, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NBA YoungBoy called the Prince family to ask what it would take to help Finesse2Tymes get out of his contract. Let that sit for a second, because YoungBoy and Finesse were not cool. If anything, they were ops. Two men who had been trading shots at each other online for a while. Former enemies don't usually pick up the phone for each other. So when Finesse went on live and said YoungBoy had reached out to Mob Ties Entertainment on his behalf, trying to negotiate his freedom, the whole internet stopped scrolling. But to understand why that call meant what it meant, you have to start with the deal that put Finesse in that position in the first place. Finesse2Tymes signed with Mob Ties Entertainment, a label the Prince family runs as a joint venture and distribution deal through Atlantic Records. On paper, that sounds like a come-up. The Prince name carries serious weight in Houston and across the industry. But the way Finesse described the deal once he started talking, it was the kind of setup that looked better on the outside than it ever felt from the inside. He called it a restrictive, all-controlling deal with hard terms and clauses that kept him boxed in at every turn. In a joint venture structure, money spent on studios, videos, and touring typically gets recouped out of the artist's earnings before they ever see a real check. That means a man can be gaining notoriety and still be in the red. Add in option periods that chain an artist to the label for album after album, and you get a situation where moving freely feels impossible. The detail that turned the most heads was this. Finesse said he was advised against getting his own lawyer before he signed. For anyone who knows how this business works, that is not a small thing. Walking into a life-changing contract without independent legal counsel is one of the most well-known traps in the music industry. It is the kind of story that makes veterans shake their head. Young artists hear it whispered as a cautionary tale for years after, and now Finesse was saying it happened to him. That frustration had been building for a while, before it finally spilled out in public over Memorial Day weekend. Finesse got on camera during the holiday weekend and let it all pour out at once. He was furious that a show of his had been canceled in Houston, on a weekend when every other artist on the calendar was out there working and stacking checks. He named the events. He named the other artists who were booked and performing while he sat on the sideline. And he pointed the finger directly at the Prince family, specifically calling out J. Prince Jr. by name. He said what a lot of struggling artists feel but rarely say out loud, that the people who held his paperwork were also blocking him from getting a bag on the road. His exact words carried the weight of a man who felt like everything was being taken from him at once. His music, his momentum, his money, and now his shot at a holiday payday. He said it was like being bamboozled out of his contract. He asked why everybody else got to eat except him. He wondered out loud if the whole world was being turned against him. That last part told you where his head was at. It had stopped being just about a canceled show and turned into something that felt personal, like a full-scale move against him. Whether that was really the case or not, that is how it landed on him. Now here is where the story flipped in a way nobody expected. A few weeks into Finesse's public venting, he went on live and said something that made the whole timeline look up. NBA YoungBoy, a man who had been one of his ops, had reached out to the Prince family, not to add fuel to anything, not to make the situation worse. He had called to ask what it would take to help Finesse walk free from his deal. Finesse did not hide how much that hit him. He gave YoungBoy his respect directly on live, saying that for the longest time he had been telling people nobody had his back. Then YoungBoy made that call, put his name on it, and Finesse could not keep saying what he had been saying anymore. That contrast is what made the moment travel. In this culture, a man is supposed to celebrate when his former op is down. The expected move is to pile on, to let the other person struggle, to use the situation as ammunition. YoungBoy did the exact opposite, and coming from someone with his own history of label dealings and public battles, it was not an empty gesture. He knew what he was asking about, and he knew who he was asking. The question on everyone's mind became obvious. If YoungBoy was reaching out about Finesse's contract, was the plan to bring him over to Never Broke Again? And then Jay Prince responded, and for a moment, it actually looked like this thing might land somewhere peaceful. The OG said the call from YoungBoy came the right way. Respectful, calm, handled properly like grown men handling business. And Jay Prince said he was open to it. He said he had been thinking about letting the whole situation go, giving Finesse room to move. The door to a quiet exit was cracked open, and all it would have taken was for Finesse to stop talking and let the men work it out in private. That window slammed shut. According to Jay Prince, the moment Finesse started going public again, venting, posting, running his mouth, the willingness to let him go disappeared. Jay Prince made it plain that his whole reputation is built on respect, and he does not bend on it for anybody. He said he would simply act like Finesse did not exist until the man burned himself all the way out. It was not a loud threat, it was colder than that. A patient shrug from a man who has outlasted every problem that ever came his way. People immediately started saying Finesse may have cost himself the very freedom he was chasing by refusing to sit down and be quiet while YoungBoy was trying to help him. The support he had been begging for was within reach, and the public crashing out may have knocked it off the table entirely. Then another layer of this whole thing surfaced that showed just how complicated the situation really was. Jay Prince got on camera and said YoungBoy's place had been broken into. He said people had gone in and disrespected the young man's property, and that he had personally stepped in to recover YoungBoy's stolen belongings, including keys to his Rolls-Royce and his McLaren. He framed it as a gesture of goodwill, an olive branch, and proof that the Prince family had love for the young artist and wanted to move right. YoungBoy was not impressed. He came back cold and flat. He said he did not want new friends or new relationships. He said if the family had something for him, there were quiet ways to make that happen without putting it on camera. To him, making the gesture publicly felt like a show more than a real move. He said the people who really move for him do not do it on the internet. He did not want the keys handed back like a staged moment. He turned the whole thing into another rejection. Cool, unbothered, and completely uninterested in playing along. That response made it clear that even if Jay Prince wanted peace from one direction, YoungBoy was not going to make it easy from his. When the whole thing got loud enough, the veterans started weighing in. Cameron and Mace took a long, hard look at how Jay Prince had been carrying himself through all of this and did not hold back. Their central argument was simple. A real OG guides young people away from trouble, not toward it. A big homie who pushes young artists into messy public situations instead of protecting them from those situations is not playing the elder role the way it is supposed to be played. They also made a point about how respect built in one city does not automatically travel everywhere else. A name that carries serious weight in Houston might not command the same automatic deference from someone raised online in a completely different generation. Their take was that Jay Prince was leaning on old rules in a new world that does not automatically honor them anymore. So here is where everything landed. Finesse was trapped in a deal he felt like he signed without proper representation and could not escape. YoungBoy, a former op, made a real move to try and help him. Jay Prince said he was willing to let it happen, then shut the door when the public noise kept coming. YoungBoy rejected a goodwill gesture because he felt the optics of it were wrong, and veterans from Harlem stepped in to say the elders in this situation had not played their role the way real OGs are supposed to. Every person in this story made a move that made some people respect them and others question them. Who do you think got this one right? Was Jay Prince standing on principle, or did pride get in the way of a real resolution? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns on the situations the culture keeps watching.